Hello, I'm Todd Starnes. Conservative students are under assault on university campuses across the nation. Jacob Ellerhorn, a student senator at the University of Southern California, is facing impeachment simply for being a conservative. Mr. Ellerhorn is also president of USC's College Republicans, under investigation for expressing conservative viewpoints and inviting conservative speakers to campus. 10 senators at Colorado State University are facing potential impeachment after they voted against a diversity bill. Now, the bill would have allotted free spots in the Senate for historically underrepresented groups. Joining me from Washington is Sterling Beard, the editor-in-chief of Campus Reform. Sterling, it appears to me there is a concerted effort to silence conservatives on public university campuses. What do you say?
Well, I'd say that's absolutely the case. Of course, University of Southern California is a private university, so it spans both public and private universities. The problem with both of these things is that the students in these cases were simply acting conservatively. Take the case of Mr. Ellerhorn. His only crimes were to speak out about things that he found wasteful and politically biased. He talked at Campus Reform, and he also invited conservative speakers Ben Shapiro and Milo Yiannopoulos to campus. And yet he's being brought up on an official complaint that he was not keeping these problems within the family, so to speak. He didn't go and talk to the people he complained about before he talked to Campus Reform, and he brought these Milo and Ben to campus and moderated an event that perpetuated sexism, as the complaint states. And his third and final crime was that he merely went and recorded an event by himself. So you kind of see this sort of effort to silence Mr. Ellerhorn these days, and especially with other conservative students as well.
And unfortunately, a lot of conservative students are choosing not to say anything. They're choosing not to stand up. What are you saying? Because it seems to me that Mr. Ellerhorn is, quite frankly, an anomaly these days.
Well, it seems, it's the sort of thing that we see every single day at the Leadership Institute's campusreform.org. Ellerhorn is a bit unusual because he is such a fighter. He's come out, he received the complaint Monday afternoon. He immediately sent out a statement about it. He called us up, let us know what was going on. We were able to post a story about it. But you see so many conservative students who, when the pressure gets too great, they fold, and understandably so, because the danger of coming out as a conservative on college campuses these days is, as you said, being labeled a bigot, being labeled hateful. And who wants to be called those things, let alone be associated with anyone who's called those things? There's a tremendous amount of peer pressure on college campuses to be liberal or progressive.
And I know that we've seen these attacks, and we've reported on many of them here on this show, happening in the classroom. But now, at least over the past year or so, it seems as though we've seen an uptick in these attacks outside of the classroom involving their peers. Are you guys seeing this at Campus Reform?
Well, absolutely. Take the case of Ayesh Pereira just last fall at the University of Miami, who was writing conservative columns for the student newspaper there, the Miami Student. When he had his first column very heavily edited and his subsequent columns rejected, the editor that he'd been working with told him that it was because he had problems with factuality, even though the sources he was originally citing were National Review or even Fox News. Now, can you believe that the Miami Student was saying that, or this editor was saying that Fox News was not a reliable resource, was not a factual resource? That's the sort of attitude that so much of this has. Conservatism can't be true if it's not a pre-approved liberal outlet, if it's not a pre-approved liberal idea. Well, reality has a liberal bias, and all of a sudden anything conservative is not only incorrect, it's a flat-out lie.
Well, you guys have certainly become, Campus Reform has certainly become a watchdog of sorts, and we really appreciate you guys keeping track of these incidents on college campuses across the fruited plain. Sterling, thank you. Be sure to check out campusreform.org for more of their stories and exposés on this stuff. And by the way, you can read my full report on what happened to Mr. Ellerhorn on my website, toddstarnes.com. Thanks for watching, everybody.